Welcome back to the channel, everybody. I hope you liked that little stop motion to start off the show. And I kind of want to just give you a basic tutorial of stop motion. And what I want to do is a real quick tip of how I do stop motion. So just a couple of the basics here. Let's just get this guy in front and center in the camera. So animation and stop motion are basically the same thing, right? What you're doing is you're taking individual frames in a different position and you're stringing them together to make a video, and it's going to make the character look kind of like he's moving to the eye. And to make it more believable, what you want to do is the more frames you take, the smoother the effect will be. And what I mean by that is if you have this guy's arm out and you take a picture with the arm extended and you take a picture with the arm bent and you string them together and just repeat that same thing, you're going to come up with something like this. And although to the eye it will look like the arm bent, it's just not fluid, right? But if you do this and you have the arm out and you take a picture with the arm out, then take a picture like here, and then take a picture here, and then take another picture and string those together. And then of course you want to go down, right? Take a picture, take a picture, take a picture. That's the idea. And you string those together, you'll end up with something like this, and the arm will look like it's moving much more fluidly. Now think about your camera for a minute. You know, as camera and video has advanced, we used to do like 30 frames a second on video. And now you got cameras like your iPhone or your Samsung phone or whatever that'll do 60, 120 frames a second, so you can slow it down in slow motion. So if you think about what the eye will see, right? I think a motion picture or that's something you watch on TV is going at a 24 frames a second or something like that. I have to look at it. Sports is, of course, you want it to be a much quicker. Now it's okay to do fewer frames, and I think you can get away with real rough animation at about 10 frames per second. And if you watch that little clip at the beginning, and I'll show it again now, it's only got 48 frames in it. And one of the benefits is he doesn't really move drastically. So if I had him doing fast motion, you would want more frames to get it more fluidly. Now, one of the keys to remember is how your body moves. Say I want to raise this arm, right? And I'm raising it up. If you're standing there, you don't just raise your arm. You know what I mean? You raise your arm, and this arm might be moving, or the head might be moving, as some other movements in your arm. So when you're doing stop motion and you're making this body movement, this elbow bending, just remember to tweak the helmet a little bit or the head a little bit as the arm's coming up, and maybe swing that back, maybe do a little twist in the upper body. So you'll want to do all those little tiny moves to give that motion a little more fluidity. So the program I like to use is called Stop Motion Studio. And one of the cool things about this is it has a part of it called onion skinning. And when you take a picture, the first picture of each frame, it shows you kind of an image of where your object was in the previous frame for reference, so that when you're making your animation points, you can see how much you need to move it into the next frame. So you can see I got it here, and I'm moving the helmet between each frame, and I'm taking these pictures, and you'll see the movement a little bit, and I'm just going to make him look around, and I'm going to just take a picture for each frame. So you can see that the figure's not really moving. And then when you finished all of your pictures, what you can do is you can just grab this slider and move it back and forth and kind of see how that animation is going to work at different speeds, faster and slower. And then you just go back and you would export it to your camera roll. And experiment on your own, and remember, have a lot of fun doing it. It's time consuming, but in the end, I think what you'll see is that you will appreciate the project that you've completed. Post it, let me see it. Follow me on Twitter or Instagram and put up a video and tag me in it and say, hey, I watched your tutorial and this is what I decided to do. I would greatly appreciate it. Anyways, once again, everybody, thank you for tuning in. I really appreciate it. And don't forget, have a fantastic day.